Chapter 4. "This is amazing," said Adam, exhausted, lying back on the wet spring leaves. "I could do this forever. I mean, for real. I could do this for like a month straight." "Me too, but we should start heading back. It's getting a little darker," Maya said, looking around. "If you stretch your hand out in front of your face, every finger you can fit between the sun and the horizon is about 15 minutes of daylight," she said, raising her hand. "We have about an hour. We're gonna have to hurry." "Okay, I am pretty hungry. How far from the car are we?" Adam asked. I don't know," Maya said, a little puzzled. "All I know is it's this way," she said as she got up to walk. They managed to make their way back to a trail. They had really gone off the grid exploring the new, fresh, earth-bored terrain. Now, on the trail, they followed blue dots or blue squares as markers and went in the direction of the car. Admittedly, the markers were less than clear. They were inconsistent in their shape and location, and most of the time they were crude, spray-painted circles. The sun was getting lower in the sky, adding to the difficulty in following the trail. Their eyes began to strain for the markers. "Are we gonna make it?" Adam asked, mouth slightly agape from all the hill climbs and hiking and lack of dinner. "Yeah, we'll make it," Maya answered. At this point, the sun was down, but light continued coming over the horizon for a limited time of twilight, when silhouettes and lines began to blur. "It's getting hard to see these dots," Adam said. "Do you have a flashlight?" "No, I only brought binoculars," said Maya. "Binoculars? That's like the worst thing to bring," Adam said. Maya and Adam started to run. They knew that once it was dark, there would be no chance that they could follow the trail without a flashlight. "Where are we?" Adam asked after running for some time, the light of day almost completely gone. "Well, it was an 11-mile loop, and I would say we covered about 5 or 6 miles, so... Here, let me look at the map and see if I can make out the features on the trail we're on," said Maya. Maya reached into her pocket for the map, but it wasn't there. She searched her other pocket, every pocket. "Where is it? I had it when we started walking. It must have fallen out when I took the binoculars out of that pocket earlier," Maya said. "Binoculars!" Adam cried, throwing his arms. "Okay," Maya said, now searching her brain. "We can either keep trying to follow the loop around, turn around, which is pretty much the same, or try to cut across the middle." "I vote middle. We might as well do the middle," Adam said. They could see the cliff where the lookout was, the point which they had started. They headed out in that direction. It was now dark. It wasn't pitch black, but the cliff was the last thing they would see that day. With the cliff as their heading in their mind, they climbed and descended hills, crossed hills on angles, trying to keep a steady direction. They were less hurried and stopped running now that the sun had gone down. At this point, they just had to make it back to the car. It didn't matter when. "You should probably call Dad," Adam said. "Shoot, you're right. He's probably freaking out," said Maya. Maya pulled out her phone, but it was out of battery. "My phone's dead," said Maya. "Great, just great," said Adam, pulling his hands down his face. Now it was pitch black. There was no moonlight, no starlight, nothing. They had never been in such a situation. Adventure was all fun and games, but this was real. They were deep in the forest with no phone, no light, No supplies, nothing. They were just plain lost in the middle of a true, deep, remote wilderness. Not the kind of wilderness that lets you out to a road or a neighborhood of some kind, or a park or a city or anything. This was definitely a new zone. "We're lost, Maya," said Adam. "Like super lost. Not like in a city with Google Maps and redirecting. Like lost in the woods where there are, as a fact, bears and probably wolves and possibly mountain lions." "Yep," Maya replied. "How do we know we're still heading towards the cliff? I can barely see my own hands," Adam asked. "I really don't know," Maya answered. "Just gotta keep your eye on the prize, I guess." "We're gonna die," said Adam. "I'm so hungry. I think I just saw something," he said, jerking his head to the left. "Remain calm, Adam. Panicking in these situations does not help," Maya replied, trying herself to keep calm. "How do you know?" Adam said loudly. "Have you ever been stranded in the middle of nowhere? We're gonna die. Dad is probably freaking out." "We'll be fine. He'll be fine. Other kids sneak out and party all night. Why can't we get lost in the woods?" Maya argued. They could hear the sound of rapid water approaching, like static in the distance. They came to a great gorge and a waterfall. "What the heck?" Adam cried. "Now what? We can't cross this. Let's circle back and see if we can get to the cliff another way," Maya said. "The river is always going to be there in the way, and I'm not getting in cold water in the pitch black," Adam said, really starting to freak out. "You're right," said Maya. "We're going to have to think of something else." "Well, the river goes to the Lake of the Clouds, right? Which is directly below the cliff. We can see the river and we'll be able to see the edge of the lake. We can follow that to the corner where the trail goes up." "All right, follow the river," Adam said, downright tired by now. They walked along the side of the river as it wound and went over waterfalls, as it went from a 2-foot riverbank to a 30-foot drop in a river gorge and back again to a docile stream. Maya could sense that Adam was really in a bad place. To tell the truth, she was as well, but she knew she needed a clear head in this predicament. She tried to help her brother with his state. "Remember Disneyland?" Maya asked. "Yeah," answered Adam, almost pouting. "Remember when you danced with Chippendale?" she asked. "Yeah," he said, one note higher. "Remember when Cinderella made you take a picture with her?" "You turned red," Adam said. You could hear a slight smile. "Remember when you cried on Space Mountain?" Maya retorted. "What dad puts a 6-year-old on a glowing roller coaster in the dark?" Adam shouted in jest. "I don't know. He was just laughing the whole ride, too." Maya smiled. "That was an amazing trip. We were all so happy," he said, from a different place than his previous terror. He wasn't even lost in the woods anymore. He was back at Disneyland with his family. They both were. "I remember walking below lights at night, and it was dark, but the air was warm. It felt like the air was the same temperature as my body. It felt like I was barely even there. It was such a clear, warm feeling," Maya said, swept away. They came to somewhat of a clearing in the trees and a peninsula in the river. "Let's stop here for a second. I need a break," Maya said, sitting on a nearby rock. They sat by a riverbank, a shallow portion, maybe 4 feet down to the water, which was maybe 20 feet wide at this section. Through the little clearing in the trees, they could see the cliff. They were getting closer, little by little. "I'm so hungry," Adam said. When we get out of here, I'm gonna buy 50 tubes of Pringles at a gas station." "That's a lot of Pringles," Maya answered, tired, looking straight ahead. Suddenly, a massive splash came from right behind them in the river, no more than 15 feet away. Maya and Adam absolutely froze in fear. They literally didn't move for 15 seconds, not knowing what to do, just listening for any other clue to tell them how to handle the situation. This was the first time their brains had entered such a high level of adrenaline. It was characterized by very little offshoots of attention. There was only one attention in their minds, and it was how to survive a wild animal attack. Maya screamed at the top of her lungs, trying anything to scare the animal away, if it was that kind of animal. "Yell, Adam," she shouted. They both screamed at the top of their lungs and waited. Nothing. No more splashing. No more footsteps. No growls or roars, at least, but no other indication of where the animal was or what to do. "Let's go," said Maya. Adam followed after. "You know that marsh we went through a while back? I think we should go back to that," Maya said. "That's the wrong direction," Adam answered. "It must be 2 or 3 in the morning. I don't like the idea of predators getting our scent or something," Maya said. "What's a swamp gonna do?" Adam asked. "Hopefully it would deter them a little bit. There's nothing for them to go in the wet marsh for, and at the very least we could hear them coming. I didn't hear that thing at all until it fell in the water 5 feet from us. Animals know how to creep up on their prey," said Maya, still rushing from adrenaline. "All right, to the marsh," said Adam. They trudged through swampy, wet, cold mush up to their shins. Their boots were completely soaked. The water was above freezing temperature, but it was freezing. They came to a stump when they were deep enough into the swamp, and they sat on it, there on a small piece of solid land. "Now what?" Adam asked, sitting uncomfortably in the wet stump. "I don't know. Maybe we should just wait here until we could see," Maya replied. "Can I eat your arm?" Adam said. "I'm so hungry." "Just rest. A little nap wouldn't be bad," Maya said. "A nap?" Adam shouted. "Nobody is going to bed in this beast-infested forest. I think I just saw a white wolf. Seriously, did you see that?" He started doing squats and stretches. "My hands are gonna fall off," he said. "Here, stick your hands in my armpits," Maya offered. "Gross, why?" he asked. "For warmth, you dummy," Maya answered. They sat in the stump for what seemed like forever in the cold, dark, damp forest. They became quiet, no longer motivated by the motion of their legs to do any thinking, any talking, any hoping. Dark thoughts of sleeplessness, hunger, and cold crept in. They wondered if they'd lose their feet. They wondered if they would make it out alive without being attacked by predators. They endured all these thoughts together, huddled in a cold, wet, uncomfortable stump.